You know that feeling when you're working your ass off doing everything right, but somehow money just keeps slipping away? Meanwhile, you watch other people, maybe even people who seem lazier than you, just effortlessly attracting wealth like it's the most natural thing in the world. It's frustrating as hell, right? Well, here's what nobody tells you. It's not about working harder. It's about 3 simple words that wealthy people use like a secret weapon. I used to think rich people were just lucky or born into it. But then I discovered something Carl Jung wrote about human behavior that completely blew my mind. These 3 words aren't just about money. They're about protecting your energy, your time, and your sanity. And here's the beautiful part. It doesn't matter if you're 25 or 65, broke or barely getting by. You can start using these words today and watch everything change. Have you ever been in a room with someone really wealthy and noticed how different they feel? Not arrogant, just calm. Like they're not desperate for anything. While everyone else is hustling, networking, trying to impress people, they're just there, observing, choosing. It's almost like they have this invisible shield around them that says, I don't need this, but I might want it. I remember the first time I witnessed this, watching a millionaire at a business event. People were throwing opportunities at him left and right, and he just smiled politely and said those 3 words that changed everything for me. That's not an accident. Carl Jung figured out that our minds create these patterns, and wealthy people have unconsciously trained their brains to work differently than the rest of us. While we're saying yes to everything because we're scared of missing out, they're saying no to almost everything because they know their worth. It's like they've cracked some secret code about human psychology. Jung called this individuation, becoming who you're truly meant to be instead of reacting to everyone else's agenda. And when you watch wealthy people, you realize they've mastered this art without even knowing it. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a millionaire begging for an opportunity, or desperately trying to convince someone to work with them? Never, right? That's because they understand something most of us don't. The more available you are to everything, the less valuable you become to anything. It's counterintuitive, but it's true. They've learned that desperation repels abundance like oil repels water. Instead, they've cultivated what Jung would call energetic sovereignty, complete ownership over their time, attention, and emotional responses. And here's what gives me hope. This isn't some genetic gift or privilege you're born with. Your brain can learn this at any age. I've seen 50-year-olds completely transform their financial lives just by changing how they respond to opportunities. The 3 words I'm about to share work because they tap into something deep in human nature. Something Jung discovered about our unconscious patterns around worth and abundance. These words literally rewire your nervous system to attract wealth instead of chasing it. And the beautiful thing is that it's never too late to start this transformation. But here's where most of us get it completely wrong, and why we stay stuck in financial struggle year after year. We think being open to everything makes us more likely to succeed. We say yes to every meeting, every opportunity, every person who wants our time. We answer every call, respond to every email, and wonder why we feel scattered, exhausted, and still broke. What we don't realize is that this scattered energy is actually repelling the very abundance we're trying to attract. Here's something that might sting a little, but I need you to hear this. Every time you react emotionally to a financial opportunity, you're basically announcing to the universe that you're operating from scarcity. Think about the last time someone offered you a great deal or a limited time opportunity. Did your heart race? Did you feel that familiar panic of, I might miss out? That reaction, that immediate emotional response, is exactly what keeps broke people broke. Carl Jung understood that our unconscious mind is constantly broadcasting our internal state, and when we react with desperation, we attract more situations that require desperation. Wealthy people have trained themselves to pause, not because they're cold or calculating, but because they understand that every emotional reaction gives away their power. When someone calls them with an urgent investment opportunity, they don't feel that spike of adrenaline. They feel nothing. Or rather, they feel curious. There's a massive difference between curiosity and desperation, and your bank account knows the difference even when you don't. Jung called this emotional regulation shadow work, recognizing and transforming the unconscious patterns that sabotage our success. I used to be the king of reactive decisions. Someone would mention a business opportunity, and I'd be ready to sign up before they finished their sentence. I thought I was being decisive and action-oriented. In reality, I was being controlled by my fear of missing out, my fear of not being enough, my fear of staying stuck forever. Every yes I gave from that panicked place led to wasted time, lost money, and deeper frustration. It wasn't until I learned those 3 words that everything shifted. Suddenly, I wasn't chasing opportunities. They were coming to me. The brutal truth is that reactive people are predictable people, and predictable people are easy to manipulate. When someone knows you'll say yes out of fear, they don't need to offer you their best deal. They don't need to respect your time or your boundaries. You become what Jung would call unconscious, living your life based on other people's agendas instead of your own authentic path. And the universe responds to this unconsciousness by sending you more situations that require you to react, chase, and struggle. But here's where it gets interesting, and where those 3 words become absolutely life-changing. When you stop reacting to every financial stimulus, when you stop jumping at every opportunity, something magical happens. You start attracting opportunities that are actually aligned with your worth. People start coming to you with better deals, more respect, and genuine value. It's like the universe finally realizes you're not desperate anymore, so it stops sending you desperate situations. So what are these 3 magical words that wealthy people use like a secret weapon? Not my interest. Simple, right? But don't let the simplicity fool you. These words carry the power to completely transform your relationship with money. When someone approaches you with an opportunity that doesn't align with your goals, instead of explaining why you can't do it or making excuses, you simply say, "Not my interest," and move on. No justification, no long explanation, no guilt. Carl Jung understood that the moment you start explaining yourself, you give away your power and invite negotiation from a place of weakness. I know what you're thinking, but what if it's a good opportunity? What if I miss out? Here's the thing. Truly wealthy people understand that there are infinite opportunities in the world, but finite time and energy. When you say, "Not my interest," to something that doesn't serve your highest good, you're not closing a door. You're protecting your energy for the opportunities that will actually move the needle. It's like Jung's concept of holding the tension, staying present with discomfort instead of reacting to it. Every time you resist the urge to chase something mediocre, you're training your unconscious mind to expect and attract excellence. Let me give you a practical example. Last month, someone offered me a partnership that would have made me some quick money, but would have taken me away from my bigger vision. Old me would have said yes immediately, afraid of seeming ungrateful or missing out. New me said, "Not my interest," and walked away. 3 days later, a much better opportunity showed up, one that was perfectly aligned with my goals and paid 3 times more. Coincidence? Jung would say no. When you align your actions with your authentic self, the universe conspires to support that alignment. The beautiful thing about these words is that they work in every area of your financial life. Someone trying to sell you something you don't need? Not my interest. A client who wants to negotiate your prices down? Not my interest. A family member asking for money for the 5th time this year? Not my interest. You're not being mean. You're being clear about your boundaries and your worth. And clarity, Jung discovered, is one of the most attractive qualities a person can possess. But here's where most people struggle with this concept. They think saying "not my interest" makes them selfish or closed-minded. In reality, it makes you selective and valuable. When you're not available to everything, you become precious to the right things. It's like the difference between a dollar store and a luxury boutique. One serves everyone and makes pennies. The other serves a select few and makes fortunes. If you grew up with money struggles, your nervous system is literally wired to grab onto any opportunity that comes your way. Your brain learned early that resources are scarce, that you better take what you can get, and that being picky is a luxury you can't afford. Carl Jung called this our shadow, the unconscious patterns we inherited from our past that continue to sabotage our present. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you're not being grateful. You're being controlled by old trauma that's keeping you stuck in cycles of scarcity. I get it because I lived it. Growing up, I watched my parents stress about every bill, every unexpected expense, every opportunity that might slip away. So when I became an adult, I said yes to everything. Every side hustle, every networking event, every chance of a lifetime. I thought I was being smart and proactive. In reality, I was operating from the wounded part of myself that believed I wasn't worthy of better opportunities. Jung understood that until we heal these unconscious patterns, we'll keep recreating the same financial struggles no matter how hard we work or how many opportunities we chase. The transformation happens when you realize that saying, "not my interest," isn't about rejecting abundance. It's about choosing conscious abundance over unconscious scarcity. When you turn down opportunities that don't align with your worth, you're literally reprogramming your nervous system to expect better. You're telling your unconscious mind, "I am valuable enough to be selective." And here's what's beautiful about this process. It works at any age. Whether you're 25 or 65, your brain has the capacity to create new neural pathways around money and self-worth. It's never too late to break free from the financial patterns that have kept your family stuck for generations. Think about it this way. Every time you say "not my interest" to something mediocre, you're performing what Jung would call individuation. You're separating yourself from the collective unconscious belief that you should be grateful for scraps. You're stepping into your authentic power and declaring that you deserve opportunities that actually serve your highest good. This isn't about being entitled or ungrateful. It's about recognizing that your energy is sacred and should be invested wisely, not scattered desperately. But here's the part that might challenge you. Learning to say, "not my interest," means you have to trust that better opportunities will come. You have to believe before you see the evidence. You have to have faith that the universe responds to people who know their worth. And if you've been hurt financially before, if you've been disappointed or let down, that trust doesn't come easy. Here's something that will probably blow your mind. The people who make the most money are often the ones who need it the least. Not because they were born rich, but because they've mastered the art of detachment. When you desperately need something, whether it's a job, a client, or an investment return, you radiate that desperation, and desperation repels abundance like nothing else. Carl Jung discovered that our unconscious mind creates what he called complexes around our deepest fears. And for most of us, that fear is not having enough. But wealthy people have learned to transform that fear into faith. Faith that they are worthy of abundance and that the right opportunities will always find them. I remember the exact moment this clicked for me. I was in a business meeting practically begging for a contract I desperately needed to pay my bills. The potential client could smell my desperation from across the room. And of course, I didn't get the deal. Later that week, I had another meeting. But this time, I had already decided that if it wasn't aligned with my values, I would say "not my interest" and walk away. Guess what happened? They offered me double what I was expecting because they sensed I didn't need them. That's the paradox of abundance. The less you need something, the more likely you are to get it. Jung called this holding the tension, staying present with uncertainty instead of collapsing into desperation. The beautiful truth is that when you truly embody "not my interest," you're not just protecting your time and energy. you're actually creating space for miracles. Every mediocre opportunity you turn down creates room for an extraordinary one to enter your life. It's like cleaning out your closet. You have to get rid of the clothes that don't fit to make room for the ones that make you feel amazing. And the universe, Jung believed, is always conspiring to bring us experiences that match our internal state. When your internal state is, I am worthy of excellence, excellence finds you. But here's what I want you to do right now, and I want you to really feel this in your heart. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, I trust that better opportunities are coming to me. Say it again. I trust that better opportunities are coming to me. Feel how that lands in your body. Notice if there's resistance, fear, or doubt. That's normal. Those are just the old patterns trying to keep you safe in familiar struggle. But every time you choose trust over fear, every time you choose selectivity over desperation, you're literally rewiring your brain for abundance. And here's something magical that happens when you start living this way. People begin to see you differently. They sense that you're not available to just anything, which makes them want to offer you everything. You become what Jung would call individuated, a person who knows their worth and isn't afraid to honor it. This shift in energy is magnetic, and it attracts opportunities, people, and resources that are aligned with your highest good. Once you start using "not my interest," you'll notice something fascinating. People begin treating you differently. It's like you've suddenly become more valuable, more mysterious, more worth pursuing. Carl Jung understood that humans are naturally drawn to what they can't easily have or control. When you're selective with your time and energy, you automatically become more attractive to high-quality opportunities and people. Think about it. Would you rather work with someone who says yes to everything, or someone who carefully chooses what deserves their attention? The answer is obvious, and wealthy people have known this secret for centuries. Here's what most people don't realize. Your energy is literally your currency. Every time you give your attention to something that doesn't serve your highest good, you're making a withdrawal from your energetic bank account. And just like your financial bank account, when you're constantly overdrawn, you can't invest in the opportunities that would actually create wealth. Wealthy people are incredibly protective of their energy because they understand that focus creates fortune. When you scatter your attention across 100 mediocre opportunities, you get mediocre results. When you focus your energy on a few excellent opportunities, you get excellent results. I learned this lesson the hard way when I was trying to build my first business. I was saying yes to every potential client, every networking event, every collaboration that came my way. I was busy all the time, but making no real progress. Then I started applying "not my interest" to anything that didn't align with my core vision. Suddenly I had time and energy to focus on the clients and projects that actually moved the needle. My income tripled within 6 months, not because I was working more, but because I was working smarter. Jung would say I had finally aligned my conscious actions with my unconscious potential. And here's the beautiful part about this principle. It works at any stage of life. Whether you're 25 and just starting out, or 65 and looking to create a new chapter, your brain has the incredible ability to form new patterns around success and abundance. I've watched people in their 70s completely transform their financial lives, just by becoming more selective about where they invest their precious energy. Age is not a barrier to abundance. Unconscious patterns are. And those patterns can be changed at any moment you decide to honor your worth. The key is to start seeing yourself as a premium service, not a discount option. When you say "not my interest" to opportunities that don't meet your standards, you're training the world to offer you better opportunities. You're literally educating the universe about your value. And the universe, Jung discovered, is always listening and always responding to the energy we put out. Now let's talk about something that might make you uncomfortable: charging premium prices and expecting premium treatment. Most people have been conditioned to believe that being expensive makes them greedy or inaccessible. But here's what Carl Jung understood about human psychology. People value what costs them something. When you price yourself like a discount option, people treat you like a discount option. When you price yourself like a premium service, people treat you with the respect and appreciation that premium services receive. It's not about being greedy. It's about honoring the value you bring to the world. I used to be terrified of charging what I was worth because I was afraid people would say not my interest to me. But then I realized something profound. I want people to say not my interest if they don't value what I offer. Those aren't my people anyway. The right clients, the right opportunities, the right relationships will gladly invest in quality. When you start operating from this mindset, you stop attracting people who want discounts and start attracting people who appreciate excellence. Jung called this attracting your tribe, the people who are meant to support your journey toward individuation and success. Here's a practical example that changed everything for me. I had a potential client who wanted to hire me but kept asking for discounts, trying to negotiate my prices down, questioning my value. Old me would have said yes just to get the business. New me said, not my interest, and walked away. 2 days later, a different client reached out who not only paid my full rate but actually paid me more than I asked for because they valued my expertise so highly. That's the difference between scarcity thinking and abundance thinking. Scarcity says take what you can get. Abundance says wait for what you deserve. The transformation happens when you realize that saying not my interest to low-quality opportunities isn't closing doors, it's opening better ones. Every time you honor your worth, you're sending a signal to the universe that you expect to be treated well. And the universe, Jung believed, responds to our expectations by creating experiences that match them. When you expect excellence, you attract excellence. When you expect mediocrity, you attract mediocrity. It's really that simple, and it's really that profound. But here's what I want you to understand. This isn't about being difficult or high maintenance. It's about recognizing that your time, energy, and expertise are valuable resources that should be invested wisely. When you start treating yourself like the premium service you are, the world starts treating you that way too. By now, you're probably starting to see how these 3 simple words, not my interest, can completely revolutionize your relationship with money and opportunity. But let me tell you what happens when you fully integrate this principle into your daily life. You become magnetic. Not in some woo-woo way, but in a very real psychological way that Carl Jung would recognize immediately. When you're no longer desperate, when you're no longer available to everything, when you're selective and intentional with your energy, you develop what Jung called authentic presence. And authentic presence is irresistibly attractive to abundance. The most beautiful part of this transformation is watching how it ripples out into every area of your life. When you start saying not my interest to financial opportunities that don't serve you, you also start saying it to relationships that drain you, commitments that exhaust you, and situations that diminish your worth. You begin to understand that everything is connected: your financial life, your emotional life, your spiritual life. Jung knew that true individuation means aligning all aspects of yourself with your highest potential, and that includes your capacity to create and receive wealth. I want you to imagine yourself 6 months from now, after you've been consistently using these 3 words. Picture yourself in a conversation with someone who's trying to pressure you into an opportunity that doesn't feel right. Instead of feeling anxious or guilty about saying no, you feel calm and centered. You simply say, not my interest, and move on with your day. Notice how that feels in your body, that sense of sovereignty, that quiet confidence, that unshakable knowing of your own worth. That feeling is available to you right now, regardless of your current financial situation or your age. Here's what I know to be true. The moment you start honoring your worth, the world starts honoring it too. The moment you stop accepting less than you deserve, you start attracting more than you imagined possible. It's never too late to begin this transformation. Whether you're struggling to pay bills or looking to take your wealth to the next level, these 3 words will change everything. Jung understood that our external reality is always a reflection of our internal state, and when you change your internal relationship with worth and abundance, your external world has no choice but to follow. The person you're becoming, the person who says, "Not my interest," with confidence and grace, that person is already inside you, waiting to emerge. Every time you choose selectivity over desperation, every time you choose quality over quantity, every time you choose your worth over your fear, you're becoming more authentically yourself. And authentic people, Jung discovered, are the ones who create authentic wealth. As we reach the end of this journey together, I want you to feel something deep in your soul. You are worthy of abundance, you are worthy of respect, and you are worthy of opportunities that truly serve your highest good. Carl Jung spent his life studying human potential, and he discovered that we all have the capacity to transform our lives at any moment we choose consciousness over unconsciousness, selectivity over desperation, worth over fear. Those three words, "not my interest," aren't just a phrase. They're a declaration of your inherent value and a commitment to honoring the sacred energy that flows through you. When you speak them with conviction, you're not just changing your financial life, you're reclaiming your power and stepping into the person you were always meant to be. The video appearing on your screen right now will take you even deeper into the mysteries of human psychology and show you exactly how your mind creates the reality you experience every day. If this message resonated with your heart, if you felt that spark of recognition and possibility, then you're ready to explore the profound secrets that lie within your own consciousness. Click on that video and continue this incredible journey of self-discovery and transformation. Your future abundant self is waiting for you to take that next step, and I promise you, the insights you're about to discover will fill your heart with the kind of hope and excitement that makes everything possible.